Welcome to RCS. I'm Nick.
I'm Dan.
How are you, Dan?
I was tired. Packing.
Packing?
Packing.
Nice. Did you find a destination yet?
McCall.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. I didn't know if that was finalized or not.
Yeah, I will be in McCall for the month of June, which I'm looking forward to. There's some, part of the Idaho backcountry discovery route runs right through McCall.
Oh, well, I mean, so you'll be not doing that at all, right?
Not at all.
Fair enough.
You remember that part of the mountain that was on fire that we couldn't drive over?
No, because we definitely wouldn't go anywhere places were on fire.
Right? Who would do such a thing?
Let alone go up the road after it's on fire. So
really fun road.
I wouldn't know.
So if you don't take a right at that road and you go straight, you end up on a gravel road that would destroy pretty much every car that goes across it, but it's a really popular off-road route. And it's not even like a hard one. It's just a Forest Service road. But this will be the first time I've been down there in anything but a supercar.
That'll be fun.
So I'm going to take the Raptor and go straight to that turn.
That'll be, you should do exploring. I was not aware, actually. It's funny, through some of the research, we'll talk about a little bit as far as looking into dual sports, I wasn't aware that all these states had backcountry discovery roads.
Yeah, well, they weren't an official thing up until, I want to say, 99 or 2000, and it started in Oregon was the first one. And they're not an officially state-funded thing.
No, but I just wasn't aware, but Washington, Idaho, Utah, Arizona, Wyoming.
Yeah, Oregon.
It's a neat trail system. So
yeah. So I'm looking forward to that, though. Idaho, luckily being Idaho, is a little more open. Yeah. So I can take the Raptor through there without giving it the Pacific Northwest Trail stripes.
Yeah, and if there's a log, just take the monkey with you and you'll be fine.
Oh, I'm taking the monkeys too.
Well, I'm just saying up into the hills with you, and that way you can go farther up.
Yeah, so, bring in the chainsaw, bring in the monkeys, all the essentials.
Chainsaw and a monkey. What more do you need? So.
Now I'm just looking at Branden over here. I heard Branden Ben Powell drinks when we say his name on the show, so I'm looking at Branden Ben Powell in the audience over there.
Is Branden Ben Powell here?
He is here tonight.
I didn't know that. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's fine.
And I'm thinking now we need a chainsaw mount for the monkeys.
You don't? You mean Branden Ben Powell doesn't have a chainsaw mount on his monkey?
I've heard that. He has everything else on it. He has quite front and rear racks on it.
Well, let's write that down that we need to ask Branden Ben Powell about a monkey mount for his. You set the rules of the game. I told you. So yeah,
he's gonna be dead by the end of this episode.
That's not my problem.
No, I did have a
dibs on his monkey.
A long time ago, I did have a chainsaw mount on a dual sport. They make them. They just press onto the side and the rear number plate, and I'm sure I can adapt them for the monkey.
The problem is, even if your DeWalt or mine, a 12-inch blade's going to go a ways down on a monkey. So that's the thing. On a dual sport, it's fine. So.
Like a backpack chainsaw mount. That wouldn't be uncomfortable.
I've been, speaking of dual sports, I've been doing spreadsheets.
Yeah.
It's escalated.
Oh, yeah.
Sarah ended up buying a Suzuki DR650, actually from our friends at I-90, which is a great bike. But, oh, God, it's so hard to find bikes right now.
It's very hard to find bikes. Their inventory is completely sold out for everything. So they're all holding their value like you wouldn't believe. And
I made this decision on Saturday night. And if you don't know about the motorcycle world, they're not open on Sundays and Mondays. So I'm sitting here with 2 days, like I've got all these emails out that I know aren't not going to get responded till tomorrow, but it's still it's killing me. So, and it's quickly it's funny how, and especially in the motorcycle world, you can sit there and be like, this is my budget. And then 15 minutes later, and you're like, well, now this is the budget. This is where I want. And
it's like Porsche shopping.
God. It's a little bit like that. So we'll see.
Add another 0 or 2.
God, I was like, that escalated quickly. I just sent an email on a bike that's okay. So much for paying cash. We're going to finance that one.
Dual sports and sport bikes kind of go after Lotus, where it's reduce weight and add lightness.
It's amazing to me the price of a dual sport like a CRF 450L, which I love. Mm-hmm. You're at $10,000. But if you get that bike that's not a dual sport, you can get it for about $6,000 to $7,000. Like it's turn signals and mirrors that cost the most on a bike.
Well, you can convert it pretty easily.
Yeah, I know.
Especially here.
I just want to. We'll talk about that because it has escalated. It went from a CRF 300L rally, and I have emails out for a 450. So
might I recommend the KTM 690 if you can find
one? But the problem with KTM kicks you into like $11,000 to $12,000, $13,000.
There's a reason.
I know. I understand that there's a reason. But the fact of the matter is, I'm not there.
That is the unfortunate truth behind most motorcycles. Once you hit a certain price point, there's a bunch in that range, and then there's a bunch in the lower range. Then you ride one, then the other, and you're like, oh.
I mean, I get it. It's worth it. But I'm also going like, I'd like to get this bike and have it like, the money go out, and I don't have to worry about a payment kind of thing. So
yep.
KTM is like, oh, come on over. I mean, they'll treat you like home, but you're going to be talking to them for 60 months.
Yeah, so, I'm a big fan, like I said, but I'm on the same hunt you are. It'll be a little while since I've got a tractor to buy and a few other things.
I was laughing about that. I went to had dinner with my parents, and I was like, Dan bought a tractor. My dad goes, yeah? My mom goes, what? And I go, well, he's bought a tractor. And she goes, why? Because she had made the connection, even though she's seen your house. She's like, oh, okay, I get it now. She's like, I guess I didn't know it was that big. And I was like, let's be honest. Dan was going to buy a tractor no matter what. So,
you put him on a half-acre lot and make a tractor.
Do you think Branden Ben Powell has a tractor?
He probably does have a tractor.
Okay.
I've heard he has a tractor. He doesn't live very far away either.
Yeah, no.
He probably has the utility trailer already, too.
I almost went to his house last night, actually. I took the board out for the first time, and I was a little bit... I was having some battery issues, but I was thinking, I was like, I should just stop by. I'm sure dinner's happening, right? I mean, it's very, very generous. So, yeah.
We should talk about our Carter Subaru tip of the week.
Okay.
It'll be a great tie-in for our guest today. So a lot of the things which we have seen people do all too often on all sorts of cars, from exotics to your daily driver. And if you go around Seattle and you park up against a curb, you're going to see them everywhere. We laugh when we see it, though. It's the $3,000 set of wheels with the $1,500 worth of damage.
Yeah, but that's because they've stretched tires onto it.
So every Range Rover we've ever seen.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So if you go to the dealer around here, or you go to our friends at Park Place, tonight, or you go to many of our Avants partners, and you need repair done, chances are they're not going to fix that wheel in-house. They're going to send it off to a specialist. And if you do that and you're an Avants member, you can get a discount on that. But what I have seen people do over the years is people just don't know about this service. And more often than not, I direct people this way because they simply don't know. They think you curb a wheel, you hit a wheel, you replace it. You get it out of balance, you replace it. You don't.
That's because somebody at the dealership's like, I'll gladly sell you a new wheel.
Yeah, exactly. That $1,500 forged wheel on your BMW F Sport package, why not?
Also, those come in a pair of two.
Yeah, exactly. There's a minimum order on those.
Absolutely. You got to order 2 pairs.
There's 2 sides. You hit both sides of the vehicle over there.
Exactly.
Some guys like, this is the 3rd set this year.
Mm-hmm. Seen it.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to do that. You can go get your wheels repaired. And I want to make sure people are aware of that. We've talked about it a little bit on the show, but I have found many, many times that people simply don't know that. You can do a lot of damage to a wheel and still fix it. More than you think, probably. Yeah, I have seen some pretty bad pothole divots, bends. I've seen curb rash. I've seen even wheels that you wouldn't think you can normally fix, like forged wheels with special finishes, things like that. If you take it to an expert, you can get that fixed. And it ranges, I think I've seen it as low for like a little chip repair is like $100 or something. We'll get more into that later, but it goes quite a bit up depending on the type of wheel you have, rightfully so, depending on the amount of work that needs to be done. But it is almost always cheaper than replacing that wheel.
Absolutely.
Especially when you have, like I said, a forged wheel or you have a machined finish wheel. Like that stuff can be repaired. And we'll get into some of the details of that in a little bit in the show. But again, you can definitely go do that. And if you take it to like our friends at Park Place who we go to often, they will send it off to a specialist too. And then we have that specialist on the show. Today our guest is Corey Youngren, who's going to tell us all about wheel repair. And Corey is the owner of Sound Wheel Works. Like I said, Avants. Is it Avants 10?
It's I think something like that. But I have been going to Sound Wheel Works long before Avants has been around.
Yes,
because,
many of us have.
I mean, if as you know, you can be as careful as you can be, but it happens. So, welcome to the show, Corey. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, thanks for taking time to come in. Obviously, this is something that Dan and I are very familiar with for driving cars. I mean, be it trucks.
I've never curbed a wheel.
Really? Oh,
this
okay.
Week.
Many a time I've had a curb meet my wheel, let alone had family members that have done it. And it's funny because when you're around your friends, it's a little bit demoralizing.
Oh yeah.
We all do it, but you don't want to talk about it, right? So.
On the Raptor, I do it intentionally all the time.
Jeez,
There's so many times like I can't fit in that, but if I drive over the curb and back down, I can.
Yeah, stop doing that. So, Corey, thanks for coming in. We really appreciate it. Like I said, I've been, in fact, we talked about it on the show a couple weeks ago. Recently, you did everything. You painted the wheels on my monkey, actually. So
I did.
Thank you for that. Yeah, it was. I don't think and I'm going to be honest with Corey. I don't think I was as honest. I was honest with him, but I don't think he quite understood what I was bringing in that day. I was like, yeah, I'm bringing in wheels for my motorcycles. Yeah, we do that. Absolutely. We paint or powder coat, which they look, by the way, they look great. Thank you.
I thought you were bringing in monkeys when you said that.
Oh, monkeys. Well, I mean, yeah, I'd like to have you paint these monkeys. That just trank them and you'll be good. Yeah, trank them and you'll be good. So, how long have you guys been in business, Sound Wheel Works?
Sound Wheel Works has been in business since 2016.
Okay.
November 2016.
Which means I've probably been using them since December of 2016. Yeah. So, how'd you guys get started?
Well, I've been doing wheels for almost 30 years.
Okay.
I had a shop down in Ballard back in 92 to 2005. A lot of people knew it.
Back when you wanted to be in Ballard.
Yeah.
Sure.
It was nice getting out of there.
Yeah.
And then I kind of got out of that for a bit, got into another line of work, but I never gave wheels up, so I just kept doing it.
I was telling you, I think the miracle of your business is the fact that I drop my car off in the morning, and by the end of the day, my wheels they're fixed, the color is right, which I still don't understand what type of magic you're doing there, by the way. It's like, wait a minute, not that I had complicated wheels, but I have done some serious, the wheels I had on the Dyna BMW were black, and they really showed up bad when I'd scrape them up, and I scraped them up a lot. So, yeah.
Yeah, we were going to give you a punch card.
Yeah, that probably would have been, just punched me and told me to stop doing it. But, yeah, so, did you grow up in the automotive world? You've been doing this for 30 years, but, was this?
Yeah, my grandpa, he had a shop down in Seattle, and Foster's for him and Axle.
Okay.
And so when I was a little kid, I remember the coolest thing in the world was watching a car getting jacked up.
Yeah.
Never thought I'd make a living doing wheels when I saw that, but I remember it used to, oh, man, I can't wait. I want to get older, and I want to do that. Well,
yeah.
Here I am, 52 years old, and I'm still doing it.
Well,
so.
Hey, it's obviously, with the car community around here, it's going to happen. And it's, so basically, with Sound Wheel Works, you do anything wheel-related, right? You're
No.
Okay.
I got to, yeah. No, we don't. We try not to do too much center boring. We don't do anything to lug bolt holes.
Okay.
If you got a reamed out hole, it's either have an insert put in it. I'll send you tell you where to go.
Yeah.
But we just more do just like CNC finishing,
okay.
Powder coating, wheel straightening. If you crack a wheel, we'll weld it as long as it's not in a spoke. That sort of thing.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
Structural and cosmetic is just about it.
Yeah. And if you want to powder coat your wheels, Dan, especially your monkey wheels, you have to take your bearings out.
Oh, yes.
But if you don't want to take your bearings out, they will still paint them for you, and they look fabulous. So,
right over the top.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, then your bearings will stay where they are. Yeah.
Whoops.
No. Not your fault, my fault. Yeah.
So what are the most popular services I was thinking color change is probably one of the most popular things I've done with wheels over the years is I get a car and immediately try and change the color of the wheels most of the time. When people are learning to drive, curbing their wheels is obviously a pretty common thing.
Yeah.
But then there's the people that are like, I'm going to bump the curb every time I park. That's how I know when to stop. And then I have seen the every speed bump or every pothole
I can't be the only
highway.
Frequent flyer you have.
Yeah,
that's my point.
That's a better way to put it. What's the most consistent repair you guys see?
It would be curb rash.
It's still just curb.
It's the curb rash, and one of the things that we see a lot of now is what you were saying, color change.
Yeah.
Guy buys a car. He wants to. A lot of people want to go black with their wheels now. That's just the in thing. It's been the in thing for 5 years? At least 5 years. Everybody wants black wheels.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So
coming from somebody who has black wheels on lots of cars, but
do you have to dismount to do that?
If we're powder coating, yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
If we're painting, we just drop the beads down and do our work, and then air it back up and all that.
Huh.
So.
That's the miracle. I have sent this man some wheels where I do not know how they got done in a day. It amazes me. So, yeah. Okay, well, help. I see. Okay, fair enough. I think that's kind of the one thing that I've always wondered. Are you going in and are you filling in
the rash? Yeah.
How does that work? I don't want you to give away the secret sauce, but I am always kind of curious on how that happens.
Okay, if I tell you. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have to kill you.
It's still. I got a punch card.
It's pretty good, Brian. Go for it.
On the 10th one, we'll tell you what we actually do to your car. Yeah.
We do not do any kind of Bondo fills or anything like that.
Yeah, I do.
Something I won't ever do because that stuff shrinks and it's nasty stuff. Most of the time, and this is how I explain it to customers because they don't get it. Metal displaces like water. Take a bathtub, half full of water, sit in it. Same with metal. You take it and you hit a curb. And what looks like a quarter-inch deep gouge really isn't. It's way less. Once you shave that metal that's lifted above the surface off, you barely have anything left. So then we just finesse it, we just we've got the tools.
Wave your hands. You do the magic. Yeah, absolutely.
No, wiggle my nose.
Oh, wiggle your nose. I apologize. Yeah, okay. Continue.
The hand waving, I gave that up years ago.
Sure. Oh, yeah, okay. It doesn't work as well. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, but so no, we don't do any filling unless if it's really big, then we do. I will TIG weld it.
Like you said, if you're cracking something or things like that.
Yeah. Well, you get that to where you get a quarter inch, deep, and you can't. You have to add metal to it. So
it's just people. I mean, I think there's always that accidental thing where you think I'm close enough to the curb, and then there's that. But then there's the hard part where you have to back it out of the curve, which I think I don't know if it's better to go forward and just pull the wheel away or back out.
I've been through that once.
Yeah, once or twice.
We've all been there a little bit.
Yeah.
You said you don't fix wheels that are cracked on the spokes. I actually had that happen to me on a car once. Not aftermarket set of wheels that were garbage. That company is still in business somehow, but I've seen it a lot. Why is that? Even just the rigidity of the spoke isn't as good, or?
It's going to weaken it. But here, the problem with trying to weld a spoke is when you're trying to heat up a surface. Mm-hmm. If it's in a spoke, your heat's going to want to keep going away from you, and pretty quick that whole wheel has to be hot to just get that spot to melt. So you're sitting here trying to get it to melt, and that heat goes up further, and then it just keeps moving. So. That and the fact that it'll never be as strong.
Yeah.
And I if it's my wheel, I wouldn't want somebody fixing it because if it breaks.
Yeah.
Guess who's responsible?
Oh, yeah, there's some liability there. I didn't think about that. Yeah, okay.
And I don't want that.
Fair enough, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's take our first break, and we want to talk more about you when we get back. We'll be right back.
We spend an average of 8 hours and 41 minutes a day facing screens. Laptops, smartphones, tablets, even digital refrigerators. But what are we really connected to? Isn't it time you connected to something greater? Sometimes the best way to connect is to disconnect. This moment of escape was created by Hagerty for people who love cars.
And we're back. I mean, it's always amazed me. I said that. That's one of the reasons why I wanted you to come on the show, not just because I was a customer, but because, I'm always curious because, like I said, I get there and there's such a wide range of cars of people, and and it's fun because you sit in the parking lot and you're like, oh, I know I've done that and I know how to do that. But I mean, I want to kind of go back a little bit. Like I said, you grew up in the Seattle area then, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and your grandfather or your father had the actual show?
My grandfather.
Your grandfather. So did you work there as a kid?
No. Well,
no.
Yeah. I got to go
slave labor.
Yeah, I got to go in there with my dad when he going and clean for my grandpa.
Sure. Well, I mean, we're always there. But were you always the car kid? Like, were you like? We always joke about the fact, like, you had the 100 Hot Wheels and was.
Oh yeah, I had. Yeah, I mean, yes and no.
Yeah.
I was into cars and motorcycles as a kid.
That's important.
Yeah.
What type of cars were you into?
Muscle cars. Yeah.
Muscle cars. Okay. Like, did you have a muscle car growing up?
Yeah, a couple few.
I
wish I would have held on to it.
Yeah.
They're worth money now.
What'd you have?
Well, 72 Nova. I had a 69 Satellite.
Oh, cool.
Let's see, a 73 Mustang, Mach 1 Mustang, and on and on and on.
So nothing with any power, Dan.
No. my Pontiac Firebird had the most power. That thing was great.
Oh.
And that's the car I missed the most. It had the rally hood, the rally stripes, everything. It was 400.
Those are hard to find these days, especially people are retro modding them and beating the crap out of them, and Yeah. So,
what year was the Firebird?
73. It was a 73 Esprit, but we converted it to the 72. It was like a 71.
You did the conversion?
Me and a guy did.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sweet.
Yeah. And you regret selling that, of course. Like we always do that.
Every car. I wish I would have held on to every one of my black.
Yeah.
Go. Everyone.
It's amazing how you get that connection with a car, but then you go, well, but because in your mind you're like, well, if I sell it, there's the next project, but then it's between the project and you're going, wait a minute, so.
I didn't realize cars were going to go to computers. I mean, if I would have known that, I would have held on to at least two of them.
Yeah, but it's tough to work on them, though, is the thing. Like, I mean, we were talking about my Triumph earlier. I mean, it's a pain in the ass, but I can get in there and work on it. But, your daily right now is a Gladiator, and Dan and I are huge Jeep guys, but I was looking at them. I love those, but it's like you can't work on it. That computer is running everything, so, yeah.
You can.
Yeah. What made you get the Gladiator, by the way?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I walked into, honestly, it was a fluke deal. My other Jeep, I had a 2010 Jeep, and there was a recall on the seatbelt. Okay. And so I took
Upgrade.
it in. No. Yeah. Well, I took it in, and I looked across the parking lot, and I saw this Gladiator sitting way at the end, but it was already done. It was lifted, big wheels, tires, and it was black.
Okay.
And I looked at Shelley, and I said to her, man, I'd sure like to have something like that if I could afford it. And she says, well, if they'd finance, you got to get it. And right then I had her okay, so I got it.
Yeah. Gee, I'd sure like to have one of those. Yeah.
Well, she got me back about 6 months later when she bought her 2015 Toyota TRD.
Okay. Big fan of those.
Competition. Lifted.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're going to have a toy, she's got to have a toy, right?
I didn't realize it at the time, but yeah.
Yeah.
Those are two fun
You were in a negotiation
toys.
And you didn't know it. Okay, we've all been there.
Didn't realize it.
Yeah.
Those are both fun practical toys, though.
No, yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
You take them off-road?
I have not yet.
Not yet? Okay.
Yeah, I kind of worry about that warranty deal if I go and do something stupid, which I'm good at doing off-road. So
we know nothing about that. So we'll always do. I mean, we don't curb rims. We don't do anything stupid. So that's fine. Yeah.
I was going to say, you're just going to curb rash your wheels on all the gravel and mud. It's fine.
What are you worried about? You worried about nicking a wheel or something?
Well,
like you don't know who's going to fix it?
The problem is I don't have time to fix my own stuff.
That's a good problem to have.
He won't do it for me.
The cobbler's kids don't have shoes. Yeah. Fair enough. So, I mean, tell me a little bit more about, like I said, I understand. How did you make the transition? Like, you got your grandfather's shop, but then when did you start doing wheels? You said 30 years ago. How did that happen? Like, everybody in the automotive world kind of has that moment where, like, you know what, I found my niche.
Well, I didn't have a job. What had happened is I'd lost my job. I was in my early 20s, and I'd lost my job. And my uncle, who had Foster's Wheel Service, but he had shut it down. It had been shut down for a year, but he said his phone, every day his phone rang at least a dozen times. And he says, why don't you come out and I'll teach you how to straighten a wheel, and if you like it, you pick it up and you like it. You just run the shop. And we came up with a little figure that, he was happy with, I was happy with. So he took me out in the shop, and he took 3 wheels that were bent. He took the 4th one and showed me how to do it. And he says, okay, now I'm going to leave you to it, and you just do it. When you're done, you come get me, and I'll check them.
Yeah.
So about an hour later, I went in there. I said, okay, I'm ready for you. And he said, you got one of them done? I said, well, no, I did all 3 of them. And he came out, and he checked them, and he says, how about you start tomorrow? And we
So you found your niche.
I found my niche.
Very quickly, okay.
And that's what I love doing to this day. I love straightening the wheels. I do probably about 80%. I better be careful. I do probably about 60% of the straightening because I'm getting a little older, and a lot of it's still physical. So,
but that's sort of your niche. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's my thing. But these guys that work with me, they work with me. They don't work for me. It's a big team effort down there. So, and that's the good thing about our shop, and that's one of the reasons it's successful is because we all work together for the most part.
Well, that and the quality of work that comes out of your shop is above par, so that's the important thing. That. So, I mean, I've had wheels repaired in other places, not necessarily here, but on the other side of the state, and you're driving down the road, and you're like, I think my teeth are going to chatter out. Like, I don't think this is balanced. I've always been a little off balance.
Add weight to it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, exactly. Just add weight to the other side, and you'll be fine. So that's the way it goes. Yeah.
What are your favorite cars to work on?
Man, that's
you look at a wheel and you're like, that's art. Even though it's wrecked, it's art.
I think machining wheels is what I like the most because it's the biggest when you see a before and then you see an after of a machined wheel. That's where it's, we get more people that are like, is that even the same wheel?
Yeah. Because
the machining shows every little, like a black wheel. Mm-hmm. You can see a curved black wheel from here to the wall across the room.
Yes.
And with the machined wheel, it's the same thing. And when you get done with the machined wheel, you've got the painted pockets. You've got a nice, I call it the vinyl record face because it looks like a vinyl record. You know, for those of us who are my age that know what a vinyl record is.
We're close.
Yeah, we're close.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Anyway, so machined wheels that's the most satisfying. I love seeing that when they're done. But I also like seeing tacos. Take a bent wheel that you can see this big visible bend.
Oh, I thought you just wanted to. I'm like, I like tacos too. Like, I mean,
you don't want to eat these tacos.
No, anyway, got it. Okay.
But no, seeing a wheel go from, kerthump to being 99% better.
Nice. I mean, so talking about your past with the muscle cars and things like that, do you guys do like restore? Like if somebody comes and goes, I've had this barn find, I've got these wheels, they've been sitting on this Challenger for 40 years. Can you help them restore those and things like that?
Yes.
Do you guys do a lot of that?
Well, not a lot, but we do a bit. You know, we did some there were two-piece wheels. Yeah, two-piece wheels just last month.
Okay.
And the guy spent a ton of money, but he wanted them right. So we took them apart and remachined them, clear coated the barrels and powder coated the faces, put it all back together, and
that's good to know. Like I said, especially with the amount of cars around here, people that are doing those projects. Because I think so many people, like when I was talking to the Avants members and I was telling them you guys are going to be on there, a lot of people use you, but they don't. I don't think they necessarily know the extent of what you guys can do. And we're so used to doing.
We're seeing multi-piece wheels come back a little bit in fashion now. They kind of went by the wayside a little bit because they're heavier. But as the Radwood cars, the 90s and 80s cars come back around, we're seeing that because people want that original look. Like if you look at my favorite of that era is either got to be like the Lamborghini 3-piece wheels, the factory ones, not the cheap crappy ones they put on because they couldn't find tires, or like
all those cheap wheels they put on the Lamborghinis.
Oddly, yes.
Yeah, I mean,
if you've got a Lamborghini with $3,000 wheels, you have really cheap wheels on a Lamborghini that has $20,000 factory wheels.
Yeah.
But like the Lotus Esprit with the OZ Futura multi pieces and stuff like that look really cool. We're seeing a lot of those come back, and I think oddly we might have Stance to thank a little bit in that regard because they really brought it back, and then people are like, oh, I want my my 80s car with the matching what was that GM Pontiac honeycomb mesh they had, mesh look they had. They were a nightmare to clean.
Stole it from BBS. But
they stole it from BBS, but they look so good on like an old GTA when they're super clean. Like I miss having that around.
So, as somebody who works with wheels every day and technology, what do you think about these 3-piece wheels? I mean, like, there's a lot of purists out there that really love, there's somebody that takes a single piece of aluminum and they're carving it out and they're working on it and they're beautiful. But do you like these 3-piece wheels? Like, you're sort of somebody that does it every day and sees these things. So
I think they're the 3-piece wheels. First of all, they're about the easiest wheel to work on.
Oh, okay.
Because they're so soft. To straighten out, they're super simple.
You want soft wheels on a car, right? I mean, come on, yeah.
That's the downfall with 3-piece wheels, though.
Well, because our roads are so nice here, so it's fine. Yeah,
they look really good.
We're not in Seattle.
Yeah. Exactly.
But in the resealing, it seems like they need to be resealed every 2 or 3 years, or after every time a tire shop gets a hold of them and puts new tires on and somehow rips the seal.
Yeah, right away, tire folks. Get the pros.
Yeah. I've seen that. That's happened to me, not necessarily here, but a lot of tire shops. They're just not real kind with their.
Yeah, I've seen that sort of quality degrade over time.
Yeah,
I've noticed.
Well, it's the speed. It used to be you'd go to a tire shop and you knew you'd leave the car for the day, and that things were done. But now I feel like you watch these guys go through it, and I'm going. So.
Well, I won't say any names. That's just
no, we don't either.
But the thing is in the tire industry now, you see a lot of kids, young 18 to 22, and they just.
Yeah, but they've had 15 minutes of training on the tire thing. You're fine.
But no, so that's where a lot of stuff gets scratched and nicked and dinged. And I work with a lot of tire shops that if that happens, they just give us a call and we'll help them out. But I think a lot of the, it's just not trained well.
Yeah, it's a training thing.
Mine twice, won't say the name.
Yeah.
My Z06, every time it went into the shop. It's like, the worst wheels ever to dismount tires on, by the way.
I know the manager there.
Yeah, you probably do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It escalates quickly. It escalates so quickly. No, like I said, back to my previous statement about wheels, it's like, Dan and I have talked about it on the show, there's a lot of people that won't put the multiple-piece wheels on there because of how soft they are and the fact that, the more pieces, the more things that can go wrong, and everybody wants that. They don't want the
look. They don't want the maintenance. And the 3-piece wheel is it's a maintenance item.
Yeah.
Talking to Zubrick all those years ago on the show with his E30, which is those beautiful BBSs, but he's done a complete tear down, repolish of all the bolts. Literally had to repolish every bolt to put it on because just over time, that's just what happens when you have something multi-pieces, that many pieces on a wheel. You think of a wheel as just one thing, but it's not.
Well, and you and I were talking about the Triumph before, and I was talking about the spokes on my. I can't imagine. So you have the skill. You guys don't necessarily do it as far as like being able to work on spoke wheels and things like that, right? Well, I don't even want to clean them, let alone work on them. But yeah,
I've got everything to do wire wheels for their old British and stuff because I bought all the old stuff that I had at Foster's. I've got the true inkstand. I've still got spokes, nipples. I got everything. I even have some styles. I was telling you, we have about 20 brand new British wire, 60-spoke wheels.
Don't let that get out there. People showing up at your house.
Yeah. Well, I've got them locked away.
Yeah, no.
But no, it's just I just choose not to do that anymore.
Okay.
It's just too tedious and takes too long, and I hate to say it, but there's no money in it anymore.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's so much labor for multi-piece wheels. There was somebody posted on Avants today. It was the question of like people who still run wire wheels on vintage stuff, and it's like, oh, the cleaning those was such a nightmare. That wasn't a day job. That was a weekend.
As somebody who has done it since I was a kid on the Triumph, it's like individually and let alone. I mean, I was talking to him. I get frustrated trying to do the spokes on a bicycle wheel, like let alone on a car. Like some of these guys, I just can't even imagine. It's an art, but it's a dying art. So
I had a question I wanted to ask you. What reminded me the other day when we were looking at. So there's down in Drivers Club here. There's a brand new Shelby GT500, and it's got gorgeous carbon fiber wheels on it. How is it? I wanted to ask you about the construction of this. Have you worked on those before? Had to do anything on carbon fiber wheels?
I have.
How does that work for you guys? Are they? Because I mean, I don't know how you would possibly repair it and paint it, but
well. Okay, I don't repair them.
Okay, I was wondering.
First of all, you can't bend them because if it gets
you
to a
can
point,
once.
Yeah, and it springs right back,
exactly,
or it blows up.
Yeah.
What I do with carbon fiber is a lot of places won't touch them.
Yeah.
And so I'll do dismounts, mounts, and balances and that sort of thing on them because I know how to do it without even touching the wheel.
Ah, okay.
And so I've got one customer in particular. Every time he puts his race tires on, which is every other week. He brings them to us.
A good problem to have.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. He brings them to us. He's got a 2021 Ferrari, and it's got those carbon fiber wheels on it, and so he brings them to us. But as for curbing, I've heard there's places out there, but I don't know who, and I don't think I'd want to mess with taking a chunk out of a carbon fiber wheel. I would think it would weaken it, so I don't think I'd want to touch it.
Yeah.
Well, and maybe you can answer this knowing a little bit more about wheels than I do. We brought this up about the GT500. Are those wheels built to the point where, like, I mean, because in my mind, when I torque the wheels on my Subaru, and I'm making these are two very things, and you over torque a lug on a metal wheel, you're fine. But I feel like with a carbon wheel, you could absolutely just blow it apart. As far as,
there's a torque spec. There's a torque spec. I'm not sure what it is. I know it's a lot lower than you would think it would be.
Okay.
But the carbon fiber wheel, there's a metal plate that's actually built into the wheel.
Oh, it's bonded to the carbon.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's going to still be metal on metal. You can't have metal on carbon or metal on. It just won't work.
Yeah.
So the center is the only piece of that whole wheel.
Okay.
That and the TPMS sensor are the only metal pieces on that wheel, as far as I know.
TPMS. Okay.
So
yeah, I mean, it's a technology obviously that's incredibly expensive, and I mean, and as funny as it is, the people that in my mind that are leading that are Ford, because the two cars that have them are the GT500 and the Ford GT now.
Yeah,
I mean, that are coming out of the factory with carbon wheels. I think.
Well, and the
Ferraris.
And the Ferraris, yeah,
the
that's right.
2021.
That's right. The 2021 Ferraris have got them, but okay, I expect it.
Odd that Ford beat them to them. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been in the motorcycle world for a long time though. Like I sold carbon fiber wheels back in the late 90s from BST Technologies, Blackstone Tech, and they're still in business. And they make carbon fiber wheels for the Monkey, actually, by the way, if you really want. I mean, they're like $7,000.
Those will be great for off-road, yeah.
Branden Ben Powell over there.
Ben Powell should
he needs
those,
drink.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
He's like, carbon fiber wheels.
I'll be honest with you, I've looked at all the carbon stuff for the Monkey, and I'm like one rock. Like one, I mean, because they have carbon fenders and all that too.
The fenders hold up pretty well, just so you know.
I just
had them on all my bikes. So.
You know what? I would have no problem with the fenders, and then I would put carbon fenders on my Monkey, and then that would be the day it falls over. That's the way my luck goes with things. So yeah, it's just,
that's funny.
Yeah.
You're a motorcycle guy too. You were saying earlier. Speaking of which, what are you riding these days?
Nothing anymore.
Oh, nothing anymore?
Oh. No, I was.
We got to get him a Monkey.
Yeah, I want to get a Monkey. I just don't. I almost met a deer head on, and after that, I was like, I think I'm going to retire young. And so I gave up riding about 3 years ago.
Well, it's easier to retire when you're alive. So, I mean, what type of bikes did you ride, though?
I had Harleys and crotch rockets. Yeah, I had like 7 or 8 bikes in my lifetime.
Okay. Yeah.
So started out with a Honda 400 CM.
Yeah.
Honda-matic.
That works.
Yeah.
That was my first bike.
Hey, you got to start somewhere,
Nothing
right?
wrong with that.
At 70, that was good enough for me then.
Right. Get you there. Yeah. So were you riding the big Harleys, the baggers and stuff?
I had a what was that? A 97 Dyna Wide Glide.
Oh,
but
nice.
It was lowered and it was all black and chrome. It was a beautiful bike.
I love the big bikes, the big Harleys. It's just the cruisers. I mean, obviously, it's different from what it used to be with the choppers and stuff. But you look at some of these guys running around. I'm like, they've got nicer bikes than inside of my car. I'm like, as far as heated and the stereos and the.
Well, wide glide, you get the best of both worlds. You get
Yeah.
the comfortable cruiser. It's not quite the bagger, so you're not throwing around a small car. But
No, but I'm just saying, like those things have become so far as
Yeah.
And obviously, I mean, and I know we've mentioned it, but you will work on motorcycle wheels as well.
Oh, yeah.
I just did one today.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know how you curb them, but you
Maybe
can
pot-
paint
Oh, no,
them.
this was a wire wheel.
Oh, okay.
But it was bent. It was the wire wheel
Okay.
through the aluminum housing, kind of like the old. I can't remember what they call those wire wheels. Anyways, the guy had somehow bent. I don't know how you bend a wheel with a tire that big on it, but he did it. So
I've done it on dirt bikes with low pressure, and I've done it on the street on potholes.
Yeah. I don't think I want to know how you do that. Like, my teeth are chattering just thinking about that. Like, what did you hit that it would make you want to do that? So
They're pretty strong though. I used to jump the supermotos all the time, and
no, I get that, but I'm just saying a wire wheel bending it like that. That's a lot of force to put through something. So especially through the rubber. Yeah.
Well, for the listeners' sake, so I've got my Raptor. If I want to change colors on that thing, how much is that going to run me if I do that on average for like?
Well, it depends on what you're doing. If you're going to do powder coat.
Let's walk through the differences on those actually. Why would somebody choose powder coating over painting?
A lot stronger, a lot more durable,
Okay.
especially for like off-road and whatnot. It instantly is once you powder coat a wheel and it's baked and cooled off, then it's done. There's no 30-day. It takes 30 days to fully cure. It's not like that with powder. It's an instant thing.
Okay.
Paint is a 30-day cure time, so you can wash the wheel after the first day, but it's also not as durable as powder.
Yeah.
And some people think, you try to push powder because you make more money. No, actually, I don't. I push powder because it's stronger. I actually make less money doing powder than I do.
Yeah.
So I like, powder coating. It doesn't rock chip as easy. It doesn't scratch as easy unless it's a gloss black, which. You sneeze on that and it's gonna scratch.
Ceramic those for a little extra, but that's about all you can do.
We don't do that, but you can get that done at a few of the detail shops that I know of. But painting is you can get better colors. Like say you want I want some sparkle in that, and we can do that. We can add that. Powder is a powder.
Yeah.
And once it melts the color that it is. So you can't throw sparkle in there because it.
No metallic flake.
Well, I'm sure they have.
It's probably out there, but yeah.
But it's just solid colors. If you want a fancy, nice looking, pretty color with some sparkle to it or something, then it has to be paint.
I really wish I would have done acid green more on the Porsche. Just saying.
Nice. Well, I mean, and like that's when I started the conversation with him, and I called him about the monkey, and we were talking about it because I knew that. What I was going to be using the bike for. I know it was going to be off-road, but we had a conversation. I think her and I had a conversation about paint versus powder coat. And at the end of the day, it came down to the fact that I wanted it done. I didn't have a way to pull the bearings, and they were able to work with me because, had I wanted to do it the way he had suggested I do it, but they came out fabulous. But when it comes to colors and things like that, do people have? Obviously, with paint, somebody can come in and say, I want, a rainbow, unicorn paint job or whatever. But with powder coat, does it limit the colors? And are you working with people that can come up with a color, or how does that work?
Well, if a person calls up and they want a special color, I'll just tell them, get a hold of Prismatic Powder.
Okay.
And look on there and see what you like.
Okay.
Order if you find a color that you like that I don't have, just order 6 pounds of it.
Okay.
We'll lay it for you, and we will also lifetime warranty their product.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's cool.
So
because that's what we use.
Okay.
But if we don't have their color, then we tell them. Cause we did a set of bronze wheels today.
Okay.
And it's not a color. It's a color that we actually had in stock. So it was a good customer of mine, and he says, "Yeah, I just want them bronze." So I said, "All right."
Okay. So it takes 6 pounds of powder to cover like 4 car wheels. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Interesting. Huh. Didn't know that. Okay.
And you'll have a little left over, depending on the size. Depends on the size.
Something to, I mean, I get you. I just didn't know that. So.
And that's like, I'd say about a 22-inch wheel on down.
Okay.
Anything above that's going to take more.
Learn something new every day.
Did they retain that weight, or is it are you adding, I guess, thinking of a lightweight like a track car, you would want to limit the weight. I wonder if paint would weigh less.
I would think it would. I mean, because you're misting on versus laying.
Versus laying.
Because I know that powder's a lot thicker. It's a lot thicker.
Huh. And that process is basically you're prepping the wheel, and then is it a negative charge that you're spraying it on with, and then it's baked?
That you'd have to talk to my guy about.
Oh, okay.
Because I step back from that. I want to live to be 65, so I don't like breathing that stuff.
Let the young guys breathe it in.
Hey,
right? I mean, exactly. You have young lungs. You do this. Yeah. Absolutely.
There is a charge through it. I don't know the whole whole deal on it. But I'm the first to admit it.
Well, no, but that's honest. It's like, I got a guy that does that.
You got an expert for that.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
He's better at it than I am. So.
There you go. That's why you hired him, right? Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah.
So you're not off-roading your Jeep, though? Not yet? What about the Tacoma? Is it a TRD Tacoma or a Tundra?
It's a Tacoma.
Tacoma? How's that one off-road? I'm just saying.
She hasn't taken it off-road yet.
Boy, we're going to have to fix this.
It sounds like they're working too much because, the world has discovered them. So
Here I am, an Avants member.
Yeah.
I had no clue that there was a track up on Snoqualmie that I could go to.
Oh, yeah.
And take my Jeep until today.
You got to come to the Avants off-road section.
Every third Saturday of the month.
Every third Saturday.
Thanks to Branden Ben Powell.
Yeah.
Right.
He's probably going to die of drinking.
Who is? Branden Ben Powell's going to die of drinking? Oh, that'd be bad.
So weird.
It'll be a nice speech at Branden Ben Powell's funeral. We'll have it on the third Saturday. So, no, you should come out on the next Saturday. Come out and hang out with us, and I think you'd have a lot of fun. You can either one of them bring either vehicle, but it's a great course. So.
And when is that? It's the third Saturday.
Third Saturday. Yeah, you come out and see Branden Ben Powell
on
the third Saturday.
Weekend.
No, we just had it.
We
just had it this weekend. Yeah.
So
the next one will be June. No.
Yeah. June something.
We'll
figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Yeah.
What's new and exciting in the wheel stuff that you've seen that you've been excited by, that you've looked at? What's coming to the shop and you've been like, this is the next cool thing for you? Like, I like them round.
Yeah, I like them round. I mean, I used to get excited about all the. I'm more into seeing these muscle cars coming through now.
Yeah.
The old
the
school
resto
guys.
stuff coming back.
Yeah, because it's like, to me, that it's like I see. I was telling somebody earlier that. I'm so used to driving these Ferraris and Lamborghinis, and it doesn't mean anything to me anymore to drive one. Don't think I'd ever buy one because I'd be too afraid of hitting a wheel.
And you don't have the time to fix it. Okay.
No, I even though I'd sure love to rent one for a day and go out for a long drive just to see how fast I can go, but.
But also you're a classic muscle guy. That's not.
And I've seen more of those come through the shop lately, and it's like, oh.
I mean, and Dan and I have talked about that, and it's not a bad thing. It's like where you have you created a business where you have the experience to drive these cars and be with them. It's not that you dislike them. It's just that's not your cup of tea, and you become a little jaded in the. I have been places and with friends, and they'll be like, "Oh, it's a Ferrari," and I'm like, "Yeah." Mm-hmm. I was like. I appreciate it. I love it. It's art to me, but I go, yeah, I've seen one. And that's horrible in some ways, but it's also like I know what I like. And I'm kind of like you. I've gotten into more vintage stuff. Like I love seeing the old school stuff. I mean, old school Ferraris really get me.
Yeah,
going,
like obscurity.
Yeah, obscurity. So it's Dan used to joke the fact that when we would go to Monterey and there would be the same McLaren F1 sitting on the corner. It's like, oh,
there's the white one again.
There's the white one again. So yeah,
it's only tough. $20 million.
Yep.
Good.
Gotta get out there and drive it. Yeah.
Well, just the old school dashboards.
Yeah.
I miss that. I
all
miss
the analog
and the shifter on the column. I mean, it's like, oh, where are those days at?
Yeah, but that was also something in a day when something on the column didn't work. You were able to reach under the dash and fix it.
Yeah.
And now it's like, there's so much plastic, and it's like, I don't care if you own me, you can't come under the dashboard. So, yeah.
And you didn't have to worry about an airbag hitting you in the face.
No. I mean, maybe large
or maybe
piece
you
of
wanted
steel.
one to.
Yeah, exactly.
In some cases.
I don't know. It's one of
Versus
those
the
things.
suicide knob on your steering wheel planting through your forehead back in the day.
Those of us who were in the back of a 79 Ford Granada on the back deck, bouncing up and down with our grandparents. But yeah,
I'm from the days when Pintos used to blow up. So
yeah.
Pintos and Corvairs.
Corvairs were different. Like, put the engine in the back with the tank. What could
I like
go
the
wrong?
rest. I like the resto mod stuff now.
Absolutely.
When you're seeing because a lot of the things that they couldn't fix before, handling being the main thing. When you see vintage muscle cars that we drive, it's like a ton of fun. But until you got to turn, then you feel like you're driving an old truck because it feels like it's going to go fly off the road. But you get in a nice resto mod, you get all the style.
Yeah.
Then you get the modern Hotchkiss suspension, and you get the modern brakes, you get the modern rear end. So you suddenly have traction, not just tire fire, but thing that hauls ass. You get to drop all the power down from that 454 out the rear. It's a whole new ride. Then you get rid of the bias plies and you put on like a 17 or an 18, especially when you got that new retro style.
It's a good thing Dan hasn't thought about this.
So my dream car forever has been a Cuda Hemi.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you've ever driven a Cuda Hemi or a Challenger RT back in the day, they're really cool to look at. And they're really exciting to drive, but they're not exactly you're not exactly gonna rail that thing around a track and power slide out every corner without the ass going in front of you a few times. Like they're just not made for that. But if you've driven a newer one, like it's in resto modded with a 6.4 swap and some 18, so it's still got built on the old chassis still, not the new plasticky chassis, but you get those classic chrome bumpers. Then you get to experience everything you love about that car and everything you love in a new car. And it's the expensive way to do it, but man, is it the right way to do it.
So what you're saying is the Dukes of Hazzard just drove on dirt because it made it look fast, right?
Yeah, kind
pretty
of.
much. Yeah,
I would love a '69 Charger.
We all would.
With a Hemi, but if you've driven one, you'll go back and you'll be oddly disappointed if you've only driven modern cars because it'll feel slow.
Yeah.
And because back in the day, 0 to 60 in 5.96 seconds was blinding fast. Now that's slow compared to a Camry. Literally.
Yeah.
Like the new TRD Camry to 0 to 60 in under 5 seconons.
When did a Camry get good looking, by the way?
Yeah, I know. So just
that was a
new TRD Camry. We're like, wait a minute, that actually looks nice. I would not on my list,
supposed to happen.
But no, it is one of those things. I've been talking to the friend of mine about the new stuff versus the old stuff, and it really hits you hard as you get older because you're like, oh man, I remember this being a lot faster when I was a kid, and it was fast at the time.
Yeah. The good old days. Yeah.
I miss the classics. Anyway, we're due for our next break. We'll be right back. We'll talk more about some of the Avants stuff coming up and more wheel stuff. Be right back.
Grandpa, what do you call this thing again?
It's a 66 Ford Bronco.
I think you got ripped off.
Why is that, honey?
It's got no Wi-Fi, no USB port, no Bluetooth.
Exactly. I guess we'll just have to talk.
Sometimes the best way to connect is to disconnect.
Is that the window button?
It's called a window crank.
Cool. The faster I move it, the faster it goes down.
This moment of escape was created by Haggerty.
Being old is kind of cool, Grandpa.
Works for me.
For people who love cars.
And we're back. Just talking to Branden Ben Powell over there. The Avants Off-Road event is the 19th is the next one, I heard.
June 19th. We'll be there, yeah.
Be sure to say hi to Branden Ben Powell.
Branden Ben Powell. Branden Ben Powell.
Let's see here. So if you curb a wheel, bend a wheel, hit a large pothole on I-90 that's been there for about 3 years that they're not going to fix.
That's very specific.
Just saying.
Okay.
Maybe something random like that happens right before Issaquah coming down.
Dan's examples are just so specific.
Just random one.
Random. Okay, yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
You can go see our friends over here. It's at Sound Wheel Works, and they are just in Bellevue, right off 520, right by the Kawasaki dealership if you're in there. Anyway, it's 10% off jobs below $300. And 5% off jobs above $300. So if you've got a single wheel fix, you'll probably be into that under 300 range. If you are a terrible driver,
terrible driver. Yeah.
If you like curbs a lot,
anti-curb. But no, it's and like I said, yeah.
Or if your name's Branden.
Oh yeah, Branden. Oh yeah.
No, actually, we should talk a little bit more about Branden because he's had his R8 wheels done, his FJ40 wheels done. He's had his Monkey wheels done. You've had your Monkey wheels done. Yeah, I'm going to have mine up there in a bit. I'm doing it after the rally. I'm going to let mine get rock chipped to hell and back and then just be like, do it all at once. Cause,
let's be honest. I'll probably have mine back up there after the rally too. Because, I'll probably, but this time I'm probably going to do it right, and I'll take the wheels off, take the bearings out, and have him powder coat it. Yep. So it'll be better. I wanted them pretty first. So I'm
going with the vintage theme on the gold or on the red. So I'm going to go with like a
you're going to take my idea of gold wheels?
No, I am, but not on the red bike. The red bike's I'm going to do like a gold, the true gold. Yeah. And on the blue bike, I'm going to do like the bronze because I love the bronze. Yeah. It looks really good on the blue. So I think
that was his idea, by the way.
Yeah.
Because I went in there and I was like, I want gold wheels, and he's like, and they came up with that color on my.
It looks really good. Yeah.
So
because I like the style of your bike, but I think it's more of like a road look bike, and I'm going to keep the red one is like the off-roader vintage trail monkey look, and I'm going to the blue one more the updated one.
Must be nice to have two, huh, Branden Ben Powell? No, yeah. And like that, and I mentioned it earlier. You guys are pretty much. It's a day turnaround. Like as far as most people have to leave the car with you unless they can get through the wheel. But it's about a day. I don't think I've ever gone over a day.
Yeah, and that's because we work by appointment.
Yeah.
I don't
call in.
It's getting kind of scary though because we're getting so far booked out now. It's like, oh no, but.
It's a good problem to have.
I'll just have to make the guys work more hours.
Okay, that's fine. I'm sure they will. More work, more hours. Yeah, great. He seems real happy.
Work's not a bad thing to have right now.
Or we can hire Branden
Ben Powell? Yeah, Branden Ben Powell could come in just exactly.
Our poor listeners are going to be like, really? They're never going to forget your name, though. They're going to know Avants Off-Road, and they're going to know exactly who to talk to.
Yep.
I love it when our listeners do two things with me. They mention a guest by name, makes me really happy that they listen, and two, they recite our Haggerty commercials.
I mean, if all the Avants members want to come see Branden Ben Powell, they could bring him some beer. So we can make this happen for him.
The next Avants Off-Road event. He does like his microbrews.
There you go.
It's true. He does. He's a microbrew guy.
That'll teach you to stand on the back of your truck and take shots at me.
Now I'm standing on the back of the truck taking shots.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to clean your wheels, you can go visit our friends at Griot's Garage and use our code RCS10 at checkout to give you 10% off. If you want to go see our friends at Sound Wheel Works, give them a call.
Yeah.
Or soundwheelworks.com, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm like, I'm not the computer guy. That would be him.
and I will say, and it's something that I didn't know they had, that you can text them and have a conversation, because that's what when I started the monkey thing, that's how we did it. It was really nice. So yeah,
cool.
That's the easiest way for us.
Yeah.
And then it's all in writing. Everybody knows. Everybody knows what they're talking about. Nobody loses context.
Well, they're very quick. Like I usually when you send a text to a business, that was like it came back. I was like, oh, okay, this is happening now. Okay.
Well, I was sitting at home drinking one of Branden's microbrews.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. That's fine. Thank you. I appreciate you getting back. Yeah,
exactly.
This guy wants us to coat monkeys. What the hell? Somebody's at home drinking. Yeah. Yeah.
He
Absolutely.
doesn't like a shiny monkey.
Nope. What else is happening in the Avants world, Dan?
Dyno Day at Carb Connection.
Ooh,
always a
fun.
good time. That is the 22nd, so the day after this airs, you will have the Dyno Day at Carb Connection. Nothing on the schedule for the week after, but that'll probably change.
Yeah.
That's
we're in mourning because you're moving to McCall. So the whole community is going to be.
I'll be back.
Yeah, I know.
Nick will come visit. Everybody's going to come visit.
Yeah.
I'm going to travel back and forth, so you won't miss any shows. But yeah, that's 10 to 4 on Saturday. Email Adam ahead of time if you are not participating. You can probably come view it now because of the restrictions being lifted a little more. I got coffee without a mask today, by the way. That was pretty nice.
What?
Yeah.
What's that like?
I know. I didn't have to. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was nice.
Cool. Well, Corey, I really appreciate you taking time to come in and talk to us out of your schedule, because I know you're busy. So, if you guys, any Avants members want to reach out through his website, text him. For this episode of Rain City Supercars, I'm Nick.
I'm Dan. Don't just get there. Enjoy the drive.